Hi and welcome to the Geek Legion of Doom. This is a horror movie review and I'll be having a look at The Rites of Spring. So this film, in a nutshell, is a cross between Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Jeepers Creepers. So the film kind of takes place with two sort of stories running at the same time that eventually kind of merge into one story at the end. However, they are connected, although you don't know that straight away. So on one hand we have two young women kind of get kidnapped and sort of taken to this sort of backwoods shack basically where they're sort of strung up and weird things are done to them. And on the second storyline you've got this kind of group of people who are planning to sort of kidnap this kind of rich family's daughter for ransom basically. And as I say, these kind of two storylines end up kind of merging into one, but there is a connection between the two anyway. So the basic premise here is this kind of backwoods sort of local, I guess, has been sacrificing people on the first day of spring for the last sort of 25 years or so. No one's really sort of cottoned on that there's a pattern to this, however, because it's always on the same day, and obviously it's going to be around the same area. And it's basically so, probably like you'd guess really, that there's going to be a good harvest and whatnot. At the end of the day we have a slasher picture with these kind of like survivors kind of getting chased around by this sort of big hulking guy and kind of who looks a little bit, he could be supernatural and has got a messed up face and stuff. So that's basically the plot. So what's the actual film like? The problem with this film is it isn't particularly original. It very much apes that sort of style of film which we've seen a good few times before, and it also doesn't answer a lot of questions, and I'm not sure if this was on purpose. Now let's talk about the actual kind of the bad guy, the creature if you like. We don't know if he's actually a creature as such, or whether he's just a bloke who's kind of got like a messed up face and has just been sort of locked up in this dungeon for ages and has ultimately gone kind of a bit loopy. The credits refer to him as Wormface, and he's kind of humanoid with kind of bandages, but he looks like he's kind of got like some sort of rotten face. But we don't know if he's actually a kind of supernatural being or what. So you look at, say, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, you know, he's obviously human. Jeepers Creepers is obviously, he's some kind of demon. This guy, we don't know what he is. And then you could argue, yeah, it kind of adds to the mystery, but it ends up just being a little bit frustrating. There's also a few other plot threads that are left dangling. The fate of one of the characters is completely unrevealed. We just don't know. We see him kind of run off, and that's the last we see of them, and there's no explanation given to what's actually happened to them. So it's not bad in regards to a kind of your sort of bog standard slasher fic. The other thing is I have to say as well, so this film is 2/3 set up, and we don't get to the kind of like the slashery supernatural type bit of the film until 2/3 of the way in. So it kind of gets a little bit boring, to be honest with you, with that sort of first portion, because not a lot really happens. All it really focuses on is the sort of the kidnapping and this sort of group of criminals. Really, we sort of see a bit where these girls are getting sort of abducted, but as I say, nothing really happens too much until right towards the end of the film. I mean, it's competently made. I will say that. So on a technical standpoint, you know, I didn't think that the direction was bad. I thought the acting was fairly good all the way around. Certainly no duds, I don't think. Maybe not the best acting, but certainly fine for this kind of film. There was no stinkers in there, I would say. The actual effects of the kind of the monster guy, well, you know, he looked pretty effective. We get to see a few close-ups, and he kind of, you know, does look a bit messed up. We have that kind of typical thing that happens, obviously, where he gets kind of knocked down. Sort of, you know, we think, well, maybe he's been taken out, and this kind of woman escapes in this car and sort of drives probably a couple of miles. Yeah, and it only seemed to take him a couple of minutes to catch up. So it's stuff like that. So some of the, again, the logic in this film is a little bit flawed. But overall, you know, it was a well-made film. There's certainly were to these kind of lower budget sort of slasher, hillbilly kind of backwards type films, and this one probably stands around average. So that's what I'm going to give. I'm going to give this one a 5 out of 10. So bang on average for me. Have you seen it? What did you think of it? Leave me a comment. I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.